Are you confused about what a Bugout bag or get home bag or maybe even an EDC bag is? Well, today I hope to remove some of your confusion and help ease some of your anxiety with today's video. Stay with me to learn about the two most arguably important factors about bags. If you're not prepared, you don't know JAKZ, Prepper JAKZ. Hi everyone, John here for Prepper JAKZ, coming to you with this week's videocast edition of JAKZ FAKZ. Are you ready for this? Then let's get started. Unfortunately this week I don't have anyone that readily comes to mind for the weekly veteran-owned business to give a shout out to this week, but that's okay. It gives me more time to cover this week's subject, which is bags, or as some refer to as Bugout bags, or BOB, B-O-B, a get-home bag, or some even refer to it as an EDC bag, or everyday carry bag. Now, for new preppers, this can be kind of confusing. I know it was for me at first. The more I researched, the more I learned, and I was able to associate what I was learning to things I already knew. Now, as a Boy Scout, early on we learned about packs and how to effectively pack them for various purposes. Whether we were whitewater rafting and needed to keep our stuff dry, or doing day hikes and needed to take into account that every ounce made up pounds, and pounds turned into heavy loads over time. These were all situations we had to learn to take into account in order to determine how we packed our stuff and what size of bag or pack we needed. Then came my time in the Army. This is where I learned you may not get to pick the size of the bag you want and how to work with what you have, because no matter what, you had to make it all work to carry it all on your own, and in some cases you didn't get to choose what you could carry or what you could leave behind. Now we move into bags that we use every day. Some people use bags to carry clothes to the gym, and some use bags to carry their lunch and homework in. Some use bags to carry diapers and such for their babies, while others use bags when they go to the shooting range. Bags have become a very useful tool over the years, so using bags or packs for bobs or get-home bags is really no surprise. What I want to point out to you today is a few things to consider when you start to put your own bag together, and maybe show you a few things you may not have thought about. When I started putting my bag together, the very first thing I thought about was, and this is the first important fact that you need to learn, is what do you need the bag for? What is its primary purpose? For some, it may be to carry all of your stuff on a camping trip. For some, it may be, as I mentioned earlier, to carry your change of clothes to the gym or your lunch for work, and along with some work maybe you brought home, or possibly homework from school or college. Whatever the purpose you need a bag for, you first need to determine what that purpose is. Then break it down into what situations you may encounter to determine what items you might need to keep in your bag. If you're going to the gym, you might want to carry a personal hygiene kit for taking a shower after getting all sweaty. You don't want to put clean clothes over a dirty body, right? You might want to think about the clothes that you'll want to wear after you get out of the shower. Undergarments, pants, shirt, some type of footwear. Speaking of footwear, you might want to wear flip-flops in the shower or some type of shower shoes. You don't need to get your feet all fungused up and stuff of that nature. You might need a place for your keys, your wallet or purse, a place for your phone or radio while you're in the shower. You might even want to carry a trash bag or plastic shopping bag to put your dirty gym clothes in to keep, from getting your other stuff wet or smelly in the bag, right? And also you might want to include a padlock of some sort, whether a key or combination, because when you go to gyms, they typically have lockers for you to put your stuff in, and you're going to need a lock to help secure it. Now, how about a school bag? You want one big enough to carry your books, maybe 2 to 4 books for 2 to 4 classes, maybe even 2 to 4 notebooks if that you use for taking notes, unless you're taking notes digitally, of course. Maybe a place to store a snack or two, or maybe even your lunch. Maybe a place for a water bottle, and for those embedded in the digital world, maybe a place to hang a solar power bank to charge your devices. What about a way to keep them all from getting wet? If you're walking on a college campus, an umbrella may keep you dry, but will it cover you and your bag? Maybe you want to think about a waterproof bag to keep your stuff in, your bag from getting wet or damaged. It's something to think about. Here it is. The second most arguably important thing to consider when assembling any bag or pack is the contents are always changing. These types of bags are not something you put together once and toss it in the closet or trunk of a vehicle and forget about it until you need it. The reason they are constantly changing is we always find something new or better to add to our bags, or during a routine inspection, maybe an item has an expiration date and you want to change it out, or maybe batteries have died. You definitely want to check these frequently so that they don't leak or corrode onto something you do not want acid damage on. Maybe you have sunscreen SPF 30 in your beach bag and you just learned of a new brand offering SPF 50 you might want to try. That's a change, right? So the contents of our bags are always changing. I've seen a lot of people ask, how big of a bag do I need? And honestly, the answer is pretty simple. Gather all of the stuff you want to carry or need to carry, then get a bag large enough to hold it all, with some space left over for any changes that you might want to include. You could always get a large pack, but if you don't have enough to fill it full, you have a lot of extra space being wasted, and therefore more of a bag than you really need. On the other hand, you don't want to buy one that may be too small either. That's why you need to gather everything you want to carry first, then get a bag that will accommodate all of it without overdoing it. Well, that's it for this week's edition of JAKZ FAKZ, folks. I hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tap the bell to be reminded when we post new video content. We would also sincerely appreciate it if you'd tell all your friends and your families about us too. Also, if you haven't done so, we'd appreciate it if you'd follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at PrepperJAKZ, JAKZ. And lastly, if you're not local to Fayetteville, North Carolina, you can find almost all of our products on our website, which is www.prepperjakz, that's JAKZ.com. So until next time, remember, if you're not prepared, you don't know JAKZ. PrepperJAKZ. And we thank you for your support. Thanks for watching, everyone.